Hey, my name is Brian. I'm with Gateway General Contractors. Today, I'm just going to take you guys through basically how we do an inspection, the order of operation that we do that in, and what that exactly looks like. So the first photo that we'll take is a photo of the front of the house. Any photos that we're taking, we want to be basically described as like wedding photos, centered, very detailed. So when you're taking back, you want to take a step back, take a full shot of the front elevation of the house. That is the first photo that we take on the inspection. Next, we're going to take a photo of the driveway. We're going to be looking for any type of cracking, anything that would kind of come back on the company. We want to make sure that we have good photos all the way around of the driveway. Next, we want to get a good picture of the house numbers on the house, making sure that just gives us, when we're going through, kind of looking through our photos, we know that that's what that goes with. And then if you guys want to take a walk with me this way, the next photo that we take of the house is going to be the drip edge. So where we're going to look and find that at is right up underneath the shingles there. You can look up and see against the fascia that there is edge there. So that's where you would find that photo, and you would take a photo of this right here. You'll find that at the rake is where you'll see that drip edge located. That is the next photo that we'll be taking on the inspection. So you need to make sure you have a good photo of that. Following around, we're going to work the left side of the house around back to the front. So the next thing we'll come over here and do is we're going to find and look at a downspout. Look for a gutter. So you have your gutter measurement here, your downspout. So you'll come here, you'll put a tape measure up to this, and you can see that this is a 2 by 3 inch downspout. So that's the next photo that we take, is a photo of the downspout to give a good measurement. A lot of times when we're doing inspections on home, there is siding damage. While you're here right next to the downspout, it's just a good idea to go ahead and pop a tape measure on here and get a good measurement of the siding. This is a 7-inch hardy board. That's the next photo that we would take. Then we're going to step back. After we've done all this, we're going to come to the left side of the house. We're going to go all the way out so we can get a full view of the home. And you want to take your left elevation photo. So that's going to let you see the whole left side of the home. You don't want to leave anything unturned or anything unseen in the photo, making sure that you're covering every inch of the house. Then what you're going to do is once you have that left elevation photo, you're going to basically start that inspection looking for damage on the home. So you're going to go to the farthest corner of the left side and you're going to start looking for damage. Now, when you locate damage, a lot of times you're running your fingers up against metal. Flashlight takes a lot of times to see it. With this, you can see the damage pretty easily. And that is what that hail damage is going to look like. Chalked up, as you can see, those circular indentations that dent out the siding here. So that would be damage. You would take a photo of that. Now, in my photos, what I like to do is I always like to take a farther shot, kind of a medium shot that kind of lets you know where it is on the house. And then I also take a close-up photo to let you know, to give a good photo of that damage and gives you a good description of what that damage actually looks like. So yes, you want to inspect everything from the siding to the garage door. You're looking for any type of indentation. A lot of times on these soft metals like this, the best way to see this is going to be with a flashlight. So you're running that flashlight up and down looking for that hail damage. You're going to look around the garage wraps. Anything that you can see, you want to mark up with chalk. And then also you have little things like this, even stuff like apron flashing. If you come in and see, this is hail. These are hail hits right here. This is something the insurance company would be obligated to pay for. Moving around, again, you're just kind of continuing that inspection, looking for that same type of damage, taking photos as you're walking around the home. So here, like moving over here to this elevation here, this is still going to be the left facing elevation. You're finding more damage. And again, you're just marking up that hail damage. That way, when the insurance adjuster sees these photos, they know that's where the damage is located on the home. Now, on something like a downspout, these are going to be quite a bit easier to see. This is a really, really good hail hit right here. You can see the circular indentation. So that's what that's going to look like on the downspout. You're going to want to make sure you're taking photos, like I said, of any and all damage that you're seeing on the inspection. Once the left side's basically completed and you've inspected all of the left side, we're going to move to the rear elevation of the house. This is going to be one of the most important photos that you take on your inspection is going to be of the back or rear elevation of the house, because this is going to show what components are on the roof in most circumstances, where when they go to order the roof, they're going to know exactly what's up there. So once you've taken that photo, you want to step back, get a clear photo of that rear elevation. Same thing. You're then moving up to that furthest corner of the rear elevation, and then you're working your way over to the left, just inspecting for damage. And you're going to be looking at everything. You're going to be looking at the siding. You're going to be looking at these downspouts. You're going to be looking at windows, any type of fascia, anything that you can possibly see that is damaged, we want a photo of. Any type of corner, anything like this. You don't want to leave any part of the house unseen. We want to make sure we have a photograph of every aspect of the home. So once your rear elevation's complete, same thing. You're just continuing to work yourself around the dwelling, and then we're moving to the left elevation to take a right elevation to take a right elevation shot. We're moving to the right side, the right elevation of the home here. When you have something like this on a home that has tree coverage or anything blocking your elevation, what I typically do is split it into two photos, just making sure that we do still get that full elevation photo. So the first one you'll take would be at this angle here, getting a shot of this exposed elevation on the right side here, and then moving past that tree and then getting a second right elevation photo, and then labeling that continued elevation. Now, with this, again, same thing. You're just coming up to the furthest side and then inspecting your way towards the front of the house, looking for any and photographing any damages that you see. Then moving back to the front of the home is the last elevation that you're going to inspect before you hop on the roof. So we'll start here at this right corner. You're going to look through again and just inspect anything that you're seeing. From these bay windows, up above these bay windows, this copper is something that is a very, very soft metal that tends to get damaged very easily. So those you want to look for. And then again, just taking photos of anything on this front elevation, up close, far away, any damages that you see. This would be your last step of your ground elevation before hopping on the roof. So when chalking up things like copper and soft metals, this is what that's going to look like. You're going to run your fingers. You're going to feel the indentations very, very easily. When you do, you can chalk that up and you can clearly see that hail that hits that and what that looks like. Any type of soft metal like this, when you guys are done, especially with copper, it's a good idea just to kind of wipe that off. That way you're not leaving a big giant chalk stain. So on this specific roof here, we have two different things going on in the gutter. Number one, it does have gutter screens, and there's also a lighting system as well. So depending on which type of gutter screen, gutter guard it may be, if there is damage to these, that we're making sure that the insurance company is paying to have them taken off and removed. And same with the lighting system as well. This is something that is wired, it's into the gutter, it's attached on the physical gutter itself. This is something that's going to need to come off and have to be detached and reset. Before stepping onto the physical roof, you want to make sure that we have a gutter measurement here. Best way to get that gutter measurement is going to be to pop a tape measure right up in that gutter and just measure it to the end and take a good photo of that so you have a gutter measurement. Then, stepping onto the roof, the first thing I'm going to do is come to the top of the roof and get good overview shots. Another really common item that you're going to see damage on your inspections, obviously if the roof's been hit with hail, probably means the soft metal's been hit with hail. Up against these dormers, you have this apron flashing here that is damaged due to hail. So if we, again, chalk this up, you're seeing this hail damage. So you just want to make sure that you have a good photo, like I said, just not missing anything, because these little things like this can really add up when it comes time for the homeowner to file the claim. Again, wipe the chalk off when you're done. So again, in doing an inspection, like I said, you just want to make sure you're really covering everything. Up above these dormers, there is some hail damage up here and some indentations on this fascia. So we want to make sure that we're marking those up. Okay. That way you're able to see that, and you want to just make sure that you have a good photo of that as well. Now for the main show. This is kind of the part that we kind of work for. This is the part that's going to get us paid and get the roof paid for. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a test square. So this is what the insurance company is looking for when they come out to inspect any roof. They're going to draw a 10 by 10 square on the roof. And a good way to do this is kind of just big 3 steps down, big 3 steps to your side. There you have your 10 by 10 square. Once you have this 10 by 10 square, what you're doing is you're going around looking for indentations and bruised matting in the hail. When you see that indentation and that bruised matting or that granule loss, you're going to put a circle around it. And you're going to continue to do that all throughout your test square. Okay? Most insurance companies are looking for about 6 to 8 of these specific hail marks within a 10 by 10 square. If that is in the 10 by 10 square, that warrants replacement of that slope of the roof. So once you have your test square kind of all lined out like this, and you have your hail marks all circled, what you want to do is label the elevation and how many hits are on the actual roof or in the 10 by 10 square. So what that would look like, a good way is just to kind of abbreviate it with a big F for front equals, and then the number of hail marks inside the 10 by 10 square. You're going to continue to do this all throughout each slope of the roof. The best way is going to be to start on the south side of the roof. That is where most storms come from, is the southwest. So you'll do the south side of the roof first, moving to the west, east, and then the north last.